Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club for people who hate reading. This week it's Stanley Kubrick only, and we're doing the movie Dr. Strangelove. And we bring you movie news at the end of the program. This week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens, and the man in the lower left-hand corner is Ryan Preston. This week, as we said in the opening, it's Dr. Strangelove. Or Ryan, what's it called?
It's Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Or
Dr. Strangelove. So, IMDb's description of this movie is: an insane general starts a process to nuclear holocaust that a war room of politicians and generals frantically try to stop.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's like the whole movie.
That's the entire movie.
So who wants to go first?
How do you sum up a satire? So
that's pretty it. Good.
I think we'll let the fanboy.
Ryan.
Oh shoot, I could sum up the satire.
No, like you go first.
Yeah. What do you think of this movie? What were the things that stuck out for you?
Oh shoot. Everything stuck out of this movie to me is amazing. I love it. I love Peter Sellers playing three characters. I love George C. Scott's character, especially when his secretary's on the phone relaying him messages. Slim Pickens flying the damn plane. Everything about this
James
movie
Earl Jones.
Great from a story perspective. The things that stand out is how close. Because I haven't seen this movie in a little while, but I have really fond memories of it.
How long's a little while?
I don't know, 5-6 years.
Really?
But
so when you were 6,
what stood out to me is how close this movie is to a serious, like war thriller. You know what I mean? Like it is two funny lines away from being just like this tense, like war procedural. Like there was some like heavy stakes in the movie, I guess is what I'm saying. And then, they still had sort of the tense moments. You're still kind of watching the movie, even though you're watching for the next funny thing that Peter Sellers is going to do in one of his characters.
It went over the top when he started saying our holy fluids or whatever. It's like, what?
We're 70% water. Do you know why I drink pure alcohol and rainwater?
Oh, come on. That's the greatest thing ever.
I love the British character.
Because commies don't drink water.
They drink vodka. I love the British character. His whole reaction was like, okay.
I was a little bit more disturbed by that moment when he put his arm around him,
right?
Yeah.
And then his other hand on his thigh.
Right.
Hello, honey. Do you know why commies don't drink water?
Do you know why commies don't drink water? Yes.
Oh, great.
Same thing.
All of a sudden, you're going to hear belly up to the bar.
But basically, all the funny lines and all the funny things aside, I found myself still kind of, like, oh shit, are you going to drop the bombs? Like, is it like you're still kind of building the tense moment, like leading up to what's going on. And then everything just nuclear holocaust, I think.
Pretty much.
So what an amazing way to just be like, okay, well, like you said, stop worrying. It's nothing you could do about it now.
I really want to take that footage and splice it in with the 1812 Overture.
Right. Well, I thought his choice of music was great at that point, too. I mean, it was, again, the juxtaposition of ultra destruction and just this sweet music.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
I'll jump in when you guys.
I think this movie is more of like an homage to how great of a character actor Peter Sellers is. That's really what this movie spoke to.
It was a showcase.
Yeah, it really was. It was like
his resume movie.
He can play this character and this character and this character all at the same time and pull them off to where you're kind of guessing, like, is that Peter Sellers again?
Right.
It is. And, it's been a very long time since I saw this movie. I was probably really, really young, probably 6 or 7.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a long time since I've seen this movie. This movie for me
too.
is one of those, from a kid perspective, fond memories of the nostalgia of it, like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then seeing it as an adult, I'm not finding as many things funny as I did as a kid, but I still found enjoyable parts for me. Like I love Bat Guano. I did Colonel Bat Guano, and I mean I'm a big Slim Pickens fan. Ever since Blazing Saddles, I have really enjoyed practically anything he does because he does it to such an extreme hick.
Yeah,
there's like nothing you can do. It is.
That was the part of the movie that seemed like a random hit on rednecks. It's like,
yeah. And then you got
the hit on rednecks. That guy was a lieutenant flying he was a major flying a plane.
Like that.
Yeah.
Actually, let's see.
So that redneck made it.
Yeah, Major King Kong.
Major King Kong.
Was that his actual name?
That's the name of the
King
movie.
Is his call sign.
Yeah, King, and then Kong is.
I totally didn't catch
Kong.
that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I mean, I was really it kind of took me for a surprise. I guess I just didn't realize it, but James Earl Jones is so baby faced in that.
Yeah, it's freaky.
Yeah. But yeah, I think George C. Scott, Peter Sellers, and Sterling Hayden.
Sterling Hayden was amazing in that.
They
in that
played
movie.
some amazing roles, except for, I mean, I don't know, but that Jack Ripper guy is freaking burly. I've never seen somebody take a machine gun and just basically manhandle it and put his hand over the muzzle.
Right. It looked like a 19, didn't it?
It was like a 50 or a 30.
But it was a crew-serviced weapon. It wasn't a handheld. It was one that's generally on some sort of platform.
Right.
Yeah.
You usually have like a bipod or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
And the gases expelling from those holes would just blow your hand apart. But, you know, he's burly enough to manhandle it with,
I love
it that he's got it in a golf bag and it just takes him forever to get it out, Not exactly a go bag,
Exactly.
And they get over here and feed me bullets.
Feed me with the cigar in his mouth the entire time. I love that character.
I love the fact he was just walking around the whole time as bullets are going wing wing.
Yeah, standing in front of the window like good shooting soldiers and blasts all around him.
But I love the beginning of the movie where he's so calm. Like, you recognize my voice? Yes, I recognize your voice. Okay, do you know why I'm checking to make sure you recognize my voice? Because I'm doing this. Put the bass on code red. Confiscate all radios.
R for Robert.
Yeah, this whole thing. And it's like, I just like how calm he was during that whole thing. We're just going to screw the whole entire world up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be calm as a cucumber.
Right, which brings me to my next favorite character, the president.
Yes.
All for
another
the holy
Peter
fluids.
Sellers.
Oh, man.
The banter on around that war table.
Just when he's talking to the Russian president.
You'll see the big board.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And then he goes in and finally sneaks a picture.
You just watch this just like, well, yes, I like to just call and say hi. Of course, But
I have something important.
This is very important.
Dimitri, would you turn that down, please? Please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very quotable movie.
Very quotable.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, but I mean, as far as being a kid and watching it and then seeing it now as an older person, you get different things.
He doesn't like adult.
But shut up. Stop talking. I said shush.
But
anyway,
hey, but you have
I
to
said shush. Fingers on lips.
Wow, I just got
Start
shushed.
making point then.
Well, shut up instead of interrupting me. All right, okay. People out there will all stop messing around. Anyways, seeing it as a kid and then going and getting older and then seeing it as an adult, you get different things, but I don't think this one... Honestly, I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I did as a kid. That's the point I'm getting to. I didn't think I enjoyed it as an adult. My wife watched it with us, and she just did one of those things of, who picked this movie?
Yeah,
come on.
She actually fell asleep halfway through the movie. It's like...
Okay, that's fair
but
enough.
She's pregnant.
It drags
she is pregnant.
Like it's 1964. It's not a well-paced movie. I'll give you that right off the bat.
But what she said...
You have to be able to appreciate, James, you of all people, I figured would appreciate how you can spoof or satire something like nuclear holocaust.
No, I did enjoy that. Don't get me wrong. I'm getting there. But she looked at it this way. She did not appreciate all the dialogue, the jokes, the that whole thing, because that's basically what this movie is. Mostly dialogue, little bit of action in between. It is. Now, I enjoy that because I get a lot of the humor in there as far as, the ranking of the military and the fact that, I mean, why the hell would you have a British soldier at a top secret base, type thing? Pretty much playing a flamboyant British soldier.
Yeah. Why is he a soldier
second in command?
I was really hoping to see the British salute, the whole...
The slap yourself on the forehead backwards.
That's the one thing that was missing.
Backhand my forehead. Anyway, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. As far as the fact of that, I mean, they pretty much took all those war movies, those old war movies like The Magnificent Seven. Was that it?
No, that was a Western.
Yeah, that was a Western. I'm thinking of, what was the one there with John Wayne?
Oh, Green Berets?
Yeah, it was like a Green
There's
Beret.
also The Flying Tigers.
Yeah, anyway, those type of movies, the black and whites, and that's why I think Kubrick picked the black and white, is because he was playing into that type of genre.
Oh, yeah, by the way, everybody, color was invented by the time this movie was made.
Color film.
Oh,
yeah, just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, I was like, what
well, I think one of the reasons he played back black and white, because in black and white, a color is another character, versus more so than as a color movie.
And black and white, I think, served to actually give the tense moments more gravity.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but I don't know, John. Go on. I won't take up too much more time.
Well, it's the one thing to notice. It's definitely a pretty hard riff on the American Cold War, and the mad style of defense.
Yeah.
It's hardcore making fun of the pro-military gung ho random American in the military.
Yeah.
The Jack Ripper general was the total rip on the atypical bomb him out of hell type of character.
Right. Yeah. Leave
being
a crater.
Played by later Patton.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. My favorite thing though was the song they were playing when they were in the B-52. Was it Johnny Comes Marching Home?
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved that.
Let's Go Marching.
Yeah. That was my favorite.
I think Johnny Come Marching Home was the original one though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the whole light kind of almost slapstick feel they give to that whole thing.
Yeah, it was kind of sporadic at times, which is a little strange.
And the end was hilarious. He's up there on the bomb, fixing the thing. The next thing you know, the random cowboy is riding the nuke all the way to the... And somehow has enough leg strength to stay on it the whole time.
That's right.
Right, yeah.
That's the part I thought was funny.
I did like the writing on the bombs. Hi there.
Yeah, hi there and Dear John.
Dear John.
Right.
And I totally forgot that George C. Scott was in this movie. Like James, I haven't seen this movie in years. Mm-hmm. And the fact, when I first saw him, it's like, oh shit, it's Patton.
Yeah.
It's like, that's awesome. Because George C. Scott's a great actor.
Yeah.
And I thought he did really well with this role.
It's funny to see him do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is... I think this role is kind of like dramatic level. I think this character is like Patton, but it's such a ridiculous movie at times that it plays very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they pushed a lot to the extreme, which was funny at times.
Yeah. There was I was trying to read up what other people thought of this movie, and the whole thing, one of the guy's comments was, the whole movie's about sex. It could really come down to every character has sex, and I'm not quite sure. I just thought it was an interesting take on it.
That dude's a freak.
Right?
Yeah. That dude needs to get laid.
Yeah.
The most...
If he just watches movies and thinks this movie's about sex.
Well, it's about a bomb.
I'm trying to think of how Doctor Strange was all about sex. I mean...
because every character had some sort of, The thing I thought was interesting was, though, there was reading on Wikipedia talking about how they reproduced the B-52 exactly. And at the time, the B-52 was one of America's most secret planes. Like, the film crew wasn't even allowed inside.
Yeah, that was the other thing, was the fact of how many buttons they had to push to release the bomb.
Yeah.
Release safety lock 1. And they sit there and flip like 4 buttons. Each person had to flip 4 buttons.
Exactly. Well, and that's the kind of procedural. That's the kind of procedural stuff that I'm talking about.
I know. I'm sure they went a lot overboard on how many buttons actually had to be and safety locks there were. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was pretty funny. I'm like, they just need like 1 button. And Jen and John are like, Really? I'm like, yeah, you just push one button.
With
Well,
the
that's
safety toggle switch or
So
something.
I was saying what they need is that big "that was easy" button. You know, you get it Staples. Just one giant kink.
Did you ever see the Monsters vs. Aliens?
Yeah.
And they have the big red button that you push for coffee is right next to the big button that you nuke them all. That's what I'm talking about.
And that war room, if it kind of resembles the one from this movie,
Yeah, it
which
does. But I just said, most war rooms look like that. When they do the government war room, they all pretty much look the same.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
They have the big map.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Go look at what's the one Under Siege. They had a big map.
Yeah, I love. Actually,
War
now that you
Games,
think
they
about
had a
that,
big map.
Yeah.
I loved the camera that the George C. Scott tried to plant on the Russian guy. But later on, the Russian guy takes out his pocket watch. Is going wine, 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 pitcher, wine, 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 pitcher.
Yeah.
Of the big map.
Yeah, it's like that. This whole movie's great if you've never seen it. So, what did you give it, Ryan?
I give it a 3 just because, like I said, the pacing is a little bit sporadic, but it was a debate in my head between 3 and a 4, just because I love them satirizing something as serious and then playing it that serious, but just sort of injecting these ridiculous things in there. Like I said, this movie is a hair away from being a completely serious movie.
So the question for you: do you think anybody who likes Stanley Kubrick will like this movie?
Oh, sure. I think it's indicative of his sense of humor, and which you haven't seen, especially in the movies that we've done. You haven't seen him play really towards the sense of humor. You've seen him kind of put it in a couple of moments, a couple of funny lines, but not to this kind of degree. But it's still, you can definitely still tell a sensibility, especially with the nuclear holocaust at the end.
James?
I give this movie a straight out 3. I wasn't leaning more towards the 4. I don't think it held up as much as when I saw it as a kid as now, but I still enjoyed quite a bit of the movie. There are a lot of parts that kind of captured my attention. Especially shooting out of a blind window.
No, I agree. I actually never caught that for some reason. It never occurred to me. He never rolled up the windows.
No, he never did.
That's hilarious.
He shot straight through the windows and the blinds and everything at just any bullets flying towards him. I thought it was great.
I agree with James. This is a strong 3 out of 5. I like that. My favorite part about it is the serious overtone the whole movie has, but these random, really kind of wackiness happens.
Yeah.
With the guy talking about his precious, conservative fluids.
Yeah.
And,
well,
and the scene with the
which one, but was saying exactly what it was. It was really making fun of the
making fun of the Cold War.
American way of war. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the other scene with the Coke machine was funny.
Oh,
you're gonna if you don't really need to change, you're gonna have to deal with the Coca-Cola company.
Right, and then he gets sprayed. I mean, it was borderline slapstick.
Well, it was when he got sprayed. It's like, really?
Yeah, that was another part. I like the fact that he made a collect call to the White House, and they weren't going to accept it.
Yeah.
And then he had to do what was it?
A trunk call.
No, well, not a trunk call. It was a basically a server to server, and I'm talking internet terms, but it was just basically operator
phone.
Phone to phone type of thing. And it was pretty funny.
Overall,
he's like, wait, I still don't have enough.
And he orders him destroy the Coke machine.
Oh, and the fact. Do you think I go to war with spare change in my pocket?
That line was kind of like that. Actually made me think. It's like, that's an interesting question.
Right.
Yeah.
Overall, I liked the movie. It's definitely a strong 3 out of 5.
Yeah,
it's worth seeing. If you've never seen this movie at all, you've got to see it at least once.
It totally is worth a watch for most people.
Yeah,
for most people.
Well, I mean, I know a couple of naysayers that would be like, "Movie sucks." And these people fucking blow.
Well, they're probably a big fan of Masters of the Universe. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Those kind of people.
What's wrong with Masters of the Universe besides that it sucks?
It's his favorite movie.
It's whose favorite movie?
Well, I love that movie.
See?
Shut up. It's whose favorite movie?
But I love it because of Billy Barty and a young Courtney Cox.
So it's now the movie news portion of the show. Ryan?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm so excited about this. today's top story.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. See, we've decided that we're gonna go see, what was it?
Oz the Great and
Oz,
Powerful.
right?
Yep, that's next week's movie.
Okay, Oz the Great and Powerful. Now, as both of you might be aware of, in 1973, Dark Side of the Moon came out.
Yes.
And it just so happened to sync up with a decent portion of the 1939 film Wizard of Oz.
When she's already in Oz.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, from the beginning. Like,
Yeah, you started off from like the second.
when the lion roars on the MGM logo, and
That's
then you
right,
start playing the album, and then it's got moments in the beginning when she's like walking on the thing, and
You have to time it
a couple other
exactly.
moments when she gets there. But the album's only like 48 minutes long or 50 minutes long, so it doesn't obviously go through the entire thing. But somebody figured that out one day, okay, and
It was a
and
smoking
that
pot
became
dropping
this
acid,
amazing
pretty
pop
much.
culture kind of thing. Oh, have you ever done the Dark Side Wizard of Oz sync up thing? Well, gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that we have another task ahead of us. Because apparently, Oz the Great and Powerful syncs up amazingly with Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise.
There's no chance in hell I'm doing that.
Okay,
Oh,
that
sir.
song is only like 4 minutes.
No,
it's the album.
The whole album?
Album, and I'm trying to remember but it was.
So the question is, Ryan, do you actually own that album? Because I never have. And
I don't. I own the single because the single rocked.
Yeah, it's a good single.
And I think every white dude in the world has that song memorized. But apparently the song, That's How It Is, Ghetto Highlights, Gangsta's Paradise, and a bunch of Gangsta's Paradise stuff.
So I have a question. I have a question.
Cruising, Exercise Yo Game, 1, 2, 3, 4,
He can count.
Smiling, Kinda High, Kinda Drunk, The Revolution.
How many songs are on that album?
Apparently a lot.
15.
Get Up, Get Down. But apparently
Probably 15.
apparently a lot of this syncs up.
But my question is, how many albums did the guy go through before he found that out?
You see, that's
Because
the
the
thing.
movie's only been out for 4 days.
I mean, you're talking about a million combinations, of
At
where to
least.
start, where to stop, what album to use. I mean, how lucky did he get just throwing Coolio on, like 6 or 7 into it?
And I mean,
Or a
now,
little bird-
hold on. This is actually still in theaters, so he probably did this with a pirated copy.
Probably.
At best.
Well, the question is, who told him?
But it is reported through, let me find the guy's name, Nick Blake at nextmovie.com reports this. So he might have had, the screener copy, for the press copy or something like that, or went to a press screening
but
of it
even
and
still, that's only
had
gotta
some
be
time
like-
to maybe sit there and figure it out.
But you still only got like a month or two.
Well, here's the
do
thing.
it.
But it's not necessarily that him that came up with it. The director or somebody involved could have said, "You gotta check this out."
You think Sam Raimi did that?
I wouldn't be surprised. He did Evil Dead.
That's a good
True.
point. That is a
I
good
mean,
point.
if you do Evil Dead, I could totally see you doing something random like this.
Well, especially Army of Darkness, you know what I mean? Like, you do that, and random indeed. But anyway, I
2 hours
thought
and 10
James
minutes.
in particular would get a kick out of that because I'm definitely
Wow.
going to be looking into that.
But this movie is 2 hours and 10 minutes long.
Right, and I'm
How
gonna
long
bring
do you
a
think-
copy of Coolio's album on my iPod and sit there in the movie theater with an earbud in, just
Does it tell you the sync point?
I think it
Is it
has
the second
moment
lion's roar of-
where it sort of goes along. And if you go to the nextmovie.com and look up the Oz the Great and Powerful Gangsta's Paradise article, it has the list of songs and how it syncs up individually.
That's interesting.
Wait, so you sync each song up individually?
I think so. I'm not sure if the movie
That dude
plays
had too
entirely
much
like
time.
start to finish. or if the album plays start to finish, along with a section of the movie, or if individual songs go with individual parts.
So here's my thing. If you do individual songs, then that's not really like the Dark Side of the Moon.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because I could probably do it with Metallica's Black Album and just cherry pick what spot.
You could do
sort of, but I mean,
I'm calling
shenanigans.
shenanigans.
In essence, what Dark Side.
You could do the
just
Metallica
play,
with Sin City
from the beginning, and it synced up with a couple of parts.
That's actually
you can tell when you're watching the Wizard of Oz and doing the Dark Side thing that it's more coincidence than anything else.
Yeah, but I don't know. See, if he really chicked his album, James is right. I bet I could do it with Metallica and Sin City. I'm calling shenanigans on it.
Well, I just thought it was great that somebody would.
No,
sit
I
there
thought I do find it
with Coolio of all things.
No, I agree. I completely agree. It's a little random, that's for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to bring up just real quick was Danny Boyle's going to be doing a Trainspotting sequel.
Really?
Yeah, and I guess it's been sort of a long time coming, and there's been years without any kind of evidence whether he's going to be doing it or not, other than just a couple of rumors. But I guess he's got plans to do it in roughly 2016.
Any like what it'll be about?
2016.
I think he revealed a couple of plans for it, but let me see.
You kind of cut out through most.
Yeah,
of
you're
that.
cutting in and out a little bit, man.
Well, you're just going to have to deal with it.
Shut up.
Don't make me slap you via Skype.
Let's see. Along with Danny Boyle reaching national treasure status.
And this is the dead air portion of the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly.
So who can tell?
It doesn't necessarily say anything about any kind of plot points being revealed, other than he plans to reunite the original cast. So it's probably just going to be taking place, however long, 20 years in the future, after these guys have.
So for
gone
people who
forever.
people who haven't seen Trainspotting, why don't you tell them a little bit of what it's about? Just broad.
Shit. How do you explain Trainspotting?
Like the IMDb description.
Well, okay. Let me hang on. IMDb description is Renton, deeply immersed in the Edinburgh drug scene, tries to clean up and get out despite the allure of drugs and influence of friends. That is the most vague thing that you could be said about that. It's all pretty much character driven about this one guy who's semi trying to get off of the smack, but just through a series of his own bullshit and his friends' bullshit, it doesn't make it easy,
Wow, I completely forgot that Ian McGregor and Johnny Lee Miller were in this movie.
Right.
And I've only seen.
I think that's why people like Ewan McGregor.
I've only seen bits and pieces of this movie, but I totally forgot about Johnny Lee Miller.
Well, he's completely different in this one. He is not your hacker's Johnny. Lee
they
Miller.
actually have Trainspotting on
Netflix.
Watch it now.
Oh yeah. If you haven't seen that movie, go see it. It's a poignant movie.
It'll change your life. You'll remember seeing it.
Yeah, it'll change your perspective on junkies.
Yeah. Well, that and Requiem for a Dream.
Well, yeah. That movie will warp your fragile little mind.
I tell you, audience members, if you haven't seen Trainspotting and Requiem for a Dream, I suggest doing them back to back.
Yeah. If you're gonna go down that rabbit hole, you might want to go all the way.
May want to
just do it all at once, and then come out on the other side.
I suggest watching Trainspotting and then go straight into Requiem for a Dream, followed by A Scanner Darkly.
And I recommend some sort of ice cold alcoholic beverage while you do so.
Right, and just after that 9 hours, you will be the most jaded person alive.
What? Those are great movies.
Oh,
that will induce suicide if you watch them all back to back.
That's a pretty hard switch, going from Requiem to Scanner Darkly. Dear God,
well, Scanner Darkly is a little more sort of lighthearted about it, but it's still got its I think that's more about the whole methamphetamine kind of craze that happened in the Southland around here.
Well, I didn't say finish it out with blow.
Well, blow, that's a historical document.
Ooh, so somebody who has a whole day to kill with nothing but drug movies.
Right.
Oh, and finish it off with Fear and Loathing at midnight.
Right, a little palate cleanser, Dazed and Confused.
And why
there you go.
And why don't you end with Cheech and Chong's just so you can go to sleep on a lighthearted note?
Yeah, Cheech and Chong's
Just not
nice dreams.
Don't do that to yourself.
Come on.
See, that way you can sleep a little bit.
How many more drug movies can we all name?
Well, we just say Cheech and Chong and we can go there all day.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
more than we'd probably like to admit. And it's Dave Chappelle in it.
Wow.
All right. Well, anyway, all I wanted to bring up was that I thought since we were about to go see Oz the Great and Powerful, you guys, if it starts getting boring, you could throw on Coolio. That's all I'm saying. But the movie did just make $80 million over the weekend.
Yeah, that is impressive.
Opening weekend. So there's at least a few people who have gone to go see that movie again.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we all gave Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Fall in the Bomb, Love to the Bomb, or
How I Learned to Make Love to the Bomb. Is that what you just said?
well, damn it, somebody say it. I can't say the damn title. So
Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Fall in Love with the Bomb.
what he
Or
said.
Love the bomb, not fall in love with it. It's just how many times can we fuck this up?
A lot.
A few more times.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all gave the movie Dr. Strangelove a 3, so it's a hat trick this week for Real Flix Reviews. Like Ryan and James said, next week we're doing our theater pick. It's The Great and Powerful Oz with James Franco.
Are you having problems with titles today?
Apparently I haven't drunken enough. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.